Let's talk about cake, a cake that feels like a hug in every slice. There's something magical about baking, especially when the result is a treat that brings comfort and warmth to everyone who tastes it. This isn't just any cake, it's the kind of cake that makes you pause, close your eyes, and savor the moment. It's the cake you crave on a rainy afternoon or when you need a little pick-me-up after a long day. Imagine rich, velvety chocolate swirling together with the natural sweetness of ripe bananas, all coming together in a simple, comforting bake. The aroma alone is enough to make your mouth water, and the taste is pure nostalgia, like a childhood memory you can eat. This isn't a complicated, fussy cake. You don't need special equipment or fancy ingredients, just a few pantry staples and a little bit of love. It's the kind of recipe that welcomes everyone, whether you're a seasoned baker or just starting out. It's the one you make on a whim, just because. Maybe you spot those overripe bananas on the counter and think, why not? Or maybe you want to surprise your family with something special, even if it's just an ordinary day. The smell alone will fill your home and bring everyone running. There's nothing quite like the scent of chocolate and banana mingling in the air, promising something delicious just around the corner. It's the kind of aroma that makes people smile before they even take a bite. It's my go-to, my family's favorite, and the best way to use up those overripe bananas that might otherwise go to waste. Every time I bake it, I'm reminded of how food can bring people together and turn simple moments into cherished memories. Baking this cake is about sharing joy and making memories, not perfection. It's about laughing over spilled flour, sneaking tastes of batter, and letting the kids help, even if things get a little messy. The process is just as important as the finished cake. It's a one-bowl wonder, no fancy skills required. Just mix everything together, pour it into a pan, and let the oven do the rest. The simplicity means you can focus on the fun, not the fuss. By the end, you'll feel like a baking superstar with a cake that's soft, moist, and packed with chocolatey banana goodness. Each slice is tender, rich, and full of flavor, with just the right balance of sweetness and depth. Perfect for breakfast with a cup of coffee, as a midday snack, or as a comforting dessert after dinner. This cake fits any moment. It's versatile enough to dress up for a special occasion or enjoy in your coziest pajamas. It's easy, versatile, and guaranteed to lift your spirits. Whether you're baking for yourself or sharing with loved ones, this cake is a little act of kindness you can taste. More than a recipe, it's a little moment of happiness in your day, a reminder that sometimes the simplest things can bring the most joy. Ready to bake? Let's do this. Before we dive into baking, let's make sure we have everything we need at our fingertips. Preparation is the secret to a smooth, enjoyable baking experience. First up, gather 3 very ripe bananas. The riper the better, as they'll add natural sweetness and moisture to your cake. Next, measure out 125 milliliters of vegetable oil, which will keep your loaf deliciously soft and tender. Crack open 2 large eggs, which will help bind everything together and give your cake a lovely rich texture. Don't forget 100 g of soft light brown sugar. This will add a gentle caramel flavor and a bit of extra moisture, making your cake even more irresistible. For the dry ingredients, you'll need 225 g of self-raising flour. If you only have plain flour, just add 2 teaspoons of baking powder to give your cake the perfect lift. Add 50 g of good quality cocoa powder for that deep chocolatey flavor. And of course 100 g of chocolate chips. Choose milk, dark, or even white chocolate, depending on your mood. You can even mix them for a fun twist. When it comes to tools, you don't need anything fancy. A large mixing bowl is essential for combining all your ingredients. Grab a sturdy fork for mashing those bananas until they're nice and smooth. You'll also want a whisk or a wooden spoon for mixing everything together. These simple tools are all you need to create a perfect batter. For baking, use a standard 2 pounds loaf tin, which is about 21 by 11 centimeters. This size is just right for our recipe and will give you a beautiful tall loaf. Line your tin with baking paper or grease it well with a little oil or butter. This step is crucial. It'll make sure your cake comes out easily with no sticking or crumbling. Now, preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius or 160 degrees Celsius if you're using a fan oven. That's gas mark 4 for those with gas ovens. Getting your oven hot before you start mixing means you can bake your cake as soon as the batter is ready. Greasing and lining the tin with a strip of baking paper not only prevents sticking, but also makes it super easy to lift your finished cake out in one piece. No more worrying about broken slices. Take a moment to organize your workspace. Lay out all your ingredients and tools so you're not scrambling to find things mid-recipe. A tidy kitchen makes baking more enjoyable and helps you avoid missing any steps. Double-check that you have everything: bananas, oil, eggs, sugar, flour, cocoa, chocolate chips, mixing bowl, fork, whisk or spoon, loaf tin, and baking paper. This quick check saves time and stress later. With your oven preheated and your tin ready to go, you're already halfway to a delicious homemade cake. The prep work is done and you're set up for success. There's something satisfying about seeing your kitchen prepped and ready, ingredients lined up and tools at hand. It's the calm before the creative storm. Remember, baking should be fun and stress-free. With everything in place, you can focus on the joy of making something delicious from scratch. Now that you're organized, it's time to bring all these ingredients together and start creating some magic in your kitchen. Are you ready to get started? Let's make this cake together, step by step, with confidence and excitement. Here we go, let's bake. Time to start. Peel and mash your bananas in the big bowl. Lumps are good for texture. Add 125 milliliters vegetable oil and crack in the 2 eggs. No need to beat the eggs separately, just add them in. Mix everything together until combined. It'll look a bit lumpy, and that's perfect. Now add 100 g soft light brown sugar. Stir until the sugar dissolves and the mixture is glossy and fragrant. The brown sugar adds a caramel note that pairs beautifully with banana and chocolate. This is the heart of our cake, moist, flavorful, and so easy. Take a moment to enjoy the aroma. That's your wet base done. No fuss, just a bowl of promise. We're halfway to cake. Let's keep going. Next up, the dry ingredients. Ready? Now let's add the dry ingredients. Sift 225 g self-raising flour and 50 g cocoa powder right into the wet mix. Sifting keeps things light and lump-free, but if you don't have a sieve, just whisk them together first. Gently fold the dry into the wet with a spatula. Don't overmix. Stop as soon as you can't see big streaks of flour. The batter should be thick, glossy, and a little lumpy. Overmixing makes cake tough, so keep it gentle. You're almost there. The kitchen should already smell amazing. This is the base for a soft, tender cake. A few lumps are fine, that's it for the dry mix. Next, the best part, chocolate chips. Let's go. Time for the chocolate chips. 100 g of pure joy. Toss them into the batter and gently fold to distribute evenly. Every slice will have gooey, melty chocolate. If you like, add a handful of nuts for crunch, but I love it pure and chocolatey. Spoon the thick batter into your prepared loaf tin. Use a spatula to scrape every last bit. Don't waste a drop. Level the top gently. Give the tin a little tap to settle the batter. Now it's ready for the oven. Simple ingredients, a bit of mixing, and you're set. Carry it to your preheated oven. The transformation begins now. Slide the tin onto the middle oven shelf and set a timer for 50 minutes. The hardest part? Waiting while your kitchen fills with the smell of chocolate and banana. Don't open the oven. Let it rise undisturbed. When the timer's up, check with a skewer. If it comes out clean, it's done. If not, give it 10 more minutes. Once baked, remove the tin and let it cool for 10 minutes. This helps the cake firm up for easy removal. You've just baked a magnificent chocolate banana cake. Give yourself a pat on the back. After 10 minutes of letting your cake rest in the pan, it's time for the big reveal. Gently grasp the baking paper handles and lift the cake out of the tin. This moment is always so satisfying. The cake should come out cleanly thanks to the parchment paper, and you'll get your first glimpse of that beautiful chocolatey loaf. Take a second to appreciate your handiwork. Place the cake on a wire rack and let it cool completely. This step is crucial. Don't rush it. Cooling on a rack allows air to circulate all around the cake, preventing condensation from forming underneath. If you leave the cake in the pan or on a flat surface, the bottom can get soggy and lose that lovely texture you worked so hard for. The rack keeps everything light and just right. Here's one of my favorite secret tips. For extra moistness and a subtle tang, add 2 tablespoons of plain yogurt to your batter. It makes a world of difference, especially if you like your cake super soft and tender. Alternatively, you can use soured cream instead of yogurt. Both options add richness and help keep the cake moist for days. Try experimenting to see which you prefer. If you love a fudgy, almost brownie-like center, here's a pro move. Slightly underbake your loaf. Check it with a skewer. When it comes out with a few moist crumbs clinging to it, it's perfect. Don't wait for the skewer to be totally clean, or you'll miss out on that gooey middle. The secret to the best banana flavor? Use the ripest bananas you can find. The more brown spots, the better. Overripe bananas are sweeter and mash up easily, infusing your cake with intense banana flavor. Don't be afraid of bananas that look almost too far gone. Black and squishy is actually best for baking. They'll give your cake a deep, caramelized sweetness you just can't get from firmer fruit. If your bananas aren't ripe enough, don't worry. You can speed up the process by baking them in a low oven, about 150 degrees Celsius or 300 degrees Fahrenheit, until the skins turn black and the fruit inside is soft and fragrant. This trick works like magic and means you can make banana cake anytime you want. Once your cake is completely cool, wrap it tightly in cling film or plastic wrap. This locks in moisture and keeps the cake fresh. Leave the wrapped cake on the counter overnight. This resting time lets the flavors develop and the texture become even more luscious. The next day you'll notice the cake tastes even better, deeper, richer, and moister than when it was freshly baked. It's worth the wait, I promise. These little tricks, using super ripe bananas, adding yogurt or soured cream, and letting the cake rest, are simple but truly game-changing. They turn a good cake into something unforgettable. Now gather your loved ones, slice up your masterpiece, and enjoy every bite. The cake is cool, time to slice and enjoy. It's delicious as is, with a cup of tea or coffee. For a special touch, dust with icing sugar or drizzle with melted chocolate. For dessert, warm a slice and serve with vanilla ice cream or thick cream. Add fresh banana slices or chopped nuts for extra flair. However you serve it, this cake is a showstopper. You've turned simple ingredients into something truly special. Baking should be joyful, not stressful. Be proud, and bake it again and again. Cut yourself a big slice. You've earned it. Enjoy every chocolatey, banana-filled bite. Happy baking. See you next time.